WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, X, and our website, www.wvtcdetroit.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users.
Do not pass me by. Do not pass me by.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to My Sister, Your Sister, where connection, conversation, and Christ come together. We're coming to you live every third Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on the award-winning station WVTC Detroit. Now let's dive deep into sisterhood, spirituality, and subjects that matter.
Pass me not, oh gentle Savior. Hear my humble cry. While others thou art calling.
What's up, Detroit? What up, though? What up, though, Detroit?
What up?
What's going down? How it be, how it was, what's going in, what's coming out? Listen, it's your girl, Nikki Jones. What's going down, y'all? I am so glad to be here. Welcome to our third Tuesday at 8 p.m. Tonight, we are here, My Sister, Your Sister live podcast, broadcast, and we are just here to celebrate, and we are here to chit chat with you and have some good conversation. We are here because we want to be a light to you, to the people who are listening to us. We want to encourage you, uplift you. We want to give you information. Yes, we want to give you information because if you got some knowledge, you can do something with it, If you know better, you should what? Do better. Yes. So that's what we're here for. All right. So listen, to my left and your right, you will see the beautiful, wonderful Michelle Johnson.
It's me. Hey, I'm so happy to be here with y'all.
What's going down?
What's going on? What's good?
What's good, girl? Listen, we got a guest here tonight. You can see him. Because it's not your sisters here. There's a brother. Yes. There's a brother over here. Yes.
Brother.
Okay, and then my sister is one of my sisters is on StreamYard. She gonna come on in. Come right on. Right.
Hello.
Come on in. There she is, the wonderful, beautiful Tamara Hardy.
Hello.
What's up, girl?
Everything is everything.
Everything is everything. Yes, and God is on the throne. We
Yes,
are
he
going to say a prayer for our sister who is at home, kind of resting tonight because she's not feeling well, a little bit under the weather. So we're gonna say a prayer for Randy Butler tonight, that she's feeling a little bit better and that she will join us on our next broadcast. So other than that, I am going to turn it over to Michelle Johnson.
Thank you, Nikki, for opening us up. Welcome, everybody. Tonight, we have a very engaging conversation with not only somebody that I know personally, but who I respect in the field. He is a leader in the philanthropic space, as well in the educational space. He has a long resume. I know it looks like he's only 12, but he has been in the game for a very long time. I want to introduce you all to Marcus McGrew. He is a professional certified life coach. And that's what we're talking about today. Life coach, right?
Yeah.
It's different. So Marcus, welcome. Thank you for accepting the invitation tonight to talk about what you do, which is life coaching, helping the people. So the first question I want to ask will help ground our audience in is your origin story to life coaching. So why don't you share a little bit about this and your origin story around that?
Well, first, congratulations on your show.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you for the invitation that you all on the panel tonight. Is an honor and pleasure, really, to be here with you all. My origin story began in the American Deep South, Alabama Black Belt region. So I am native Southerner who migrated to Michigan 27 years ago and have had the pleasure of living and working in the South and the West and most recently in California. I've always had a passion for people, which brought me to coaching over many years, many varied experiences in coaching. Very simple definition of coaching, leadership and transition coaching is what I've trained in, is what I'm certified in, is the art of facilitating another person's growth and development. It could include their well-being, performance, and any other area they'd like to focus on within certain parameters. Coaching is not therapy. It is not counseling. It is not psychiatry, psychology, none of those things. It is coaching. So again, this really a skillful way of being facilitated the person's growth and development.
Wow. And so congratulations, because
Thank
you
you.
recently have been certified. So
Yes.
I'm so glad you made time for us today. I think I want to open us up with understanding more about coaching and your philosophy behind it.
Mhm.
Can you share a little bit about what is your coaching philosophy and how does that guide you in the work that you do?
Yeah. So when you think about the art of facilitating another person's growth, what comes to mind is how do you do that? And professional certified coaches do that through three things alongside others. The first is skillful questioning. We also support our clients and we turn up the heat or challenge our clients with the end in mind being evoking their awareness and change in action, because coaching is all about change and action. One of the many things I love about coaching is that it centers unconditional acceptance. It neither
That's good.
condones nor condemns. So it is judgment free. It meets the client where they are. And we allow the client to do their work. Coaches do not do the work of the client. And there are some guiding principles of coaching. The coach and the client are equals. It's an adult relationship. There's no big coach and little client. They are peers. They are colleagues. In coaching, we believe the client is resourceful. And our role as coach is to further develop their resourcefulness. Coaches do not tell clients what to do. Telling a client what to do would rob them of self-responsibility.
Okay.
The client sets the agenda. The coach does not set the agenda. Coaching is for the client. It is about the client. It is not about the coach. The coach's role is to skillfully facilitate the client's growth.
Wow. I know we over here like, not what I thought. Not what I thought.
Well, I knew it wasn't about it's not like therapy or counseling. I knew it was, a lot about asking questions, only because I, kind of looked into it, becoming a coach myself. But then I was like, Nikki, you need to coach yourself first. Before you become a coach to anybody else, you need to coach yourself. So I'm in the process of coaching myself. I'm very serious about that. I am in the process of coaching myself. Maybe later on I might, think about becoming a coach, but I'm like, I can't tell somebody else. I can't coach anybody else for me in good spirit, in good faith. And I know that I'm struggling in areas and I'm, and I can't even coach myself to do some things. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody else is like that, but I just can't do that. So I'm coaching myself right now. And then I am going to think, but I did look into it in terms of, what's involved in becoming a coach and like you said, the skill of asking the right questions. And that's something that, And when you said that, it rang a bell because I remember reading about that.
Mhm.
Becoming certified, you really just asking. It's like it's an art form actually of asking the right questions. And so, I'm interested in knowing what drew you to this profession. So I mean, because I'm sure you haven't always been a coach. You just recently were certified. So
Mhm.
what drew you to this profession? Like, what made you say, you know what, I'm going to do this now instead of that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So your comment about coaching yourself really resonates. One of my required readings is self as coach.
Okay.
And we have this saying in coaching that we do our work so that we can earn the right to help others do theirs.
Gotcha.
Um, so I've had the opportunity to work with 6 coaches over the course of my career.
Okay.
And I was so impressed with their being selves,
Mhm.
being selves being the values, belief systems that really embody who they are as people. In many cases, my coaches were Christians.
Mhm.
That was a really big connection for me. Not a requirement, but definitely an added bonus.
Mhm.
And I really appreciated the um, amount of skill and then the skill to apply their training
Mhm.
based on my situation. One of my coaches, Charles Story, was popular for saying situational self-assessment. So what does this situation require? What does it warrant? And in coaching, one of the things we are trained to do is bring an immediacy. For instance, Nikki, Michelle, Tamara, what do you really want now? It makes it immediate. It focuses on this particular moment in time. And another thing that I love about coaching and what brought me to coaching is allowing space between a question and client response. So typically when we are in conversation with another person, it's pretty fluid. It flows, question, immediate response. But in coaching, we have this saying, let silence do the heavy lifting.
Oh, I love that.
I know
I
we
love
all
that.
went like, ooh, that's my pearl.
Say that one more again.
Yeah.
Do the heavy
silence
lifting.
do the heavy lifting. Allowing the client to sit in silence evokes their awareness, which is one of the goals of coaching, to increase the client's self-awareness.
Just
So
after a question. So like you would pose a question and then let them sit in silence and figure out what the answer is until
Yeah.
they figure out the answer.
yeah, so if I don't rush, like, oh, it's okay, you don't have to come up with an answer now. Sit in silence, hold space for them, and when they are ready to respond.
Wow.
I know, right?
I'm over here like
I'm in silence.
Right. I'm like, I do have a question. You've been in the space for a minute now, and the thing that I am toiling with around life coaches is how do you measure success in your work? Like, is that like the number of people, or is it like, yes, I can track like what I have coached them in, they were successful. Like, how do you measure success? Like, what does that look
Feedback from the client.
like? Okay.
How did you find coaching with Marcus McGrew? What progress did you make against the goals that you shared at the beginning of the coaching engagement?
So they have to fill something out. Do
Yeah.
they? Okay. And that's how you build the agenda of your engagement. And then, so after that, you have another sort of assessment.
Yeah. So it begins with intake process, which might be a form, or it might entail the coach asking questions instead of sharing a form.
Okay.
For instance, Michelle, what is the most important thing to know about you? Questions are open-ended. they do not lead the client to a place where they may not want to go in the moment. So we keep our questions open-ended so that the client can reflect. So that, again, the spaces where we linger, I like to say, let's dwell here. So let's stay here for a moment and see what this space evokes in you. Yeah.
Okay, that was pretty clear cut. I thought it was going to be a little bit more complicated than that. Actually, I was like, okay, so it's really about understanding from their perspective what it is that they need, and you kind of facilitate, as you said, those conversations. So another question is around, like, who's right for coaching, life coaching? Like,
To become a life coach?
No, to be coached.
To be coached.
To be
Okay.
coached. Yeah, to be coached.
That's
so
good.
Like, who's the right person? And do you be like, oh, not me, a therapist? Like, and here's a resource.
You
list.
need medication. You need Jesus, not me.
So move it along. Because you get to choose. You get to like.
That's true.
You get to choose, right? Who
you coach and who you can't.
Yeah. So
you don't want to coach.
So yeah, what does that look like for you? How's that?
So during the course of my program at Hudson Institute of Coaching in Santa Barbara, I worked with 9 clients. I offered my services. My services were complimentary.
Okay.
So worked with 9 very different clients. A lot of Black men, woman of South Asian descent, European woman or a woman of European descent. And they ranged in age from 30 to I'd say late 40s to early 50s.
Okay. Are they in all different stages of career?
All different stages of career.
Okay.
So from an assistant to a CEO.
Okay. Oh, that's a good.
And my work with the CEO will become a contract. So I'll work with his team.
You got to say more about that.
And I'm really excited about that. This client is a group of Black men who work in early childhood education.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's very exciting. In terms of selecting clients, you know, that is the purpose of the intake process. To really get to know each other. Coach gets to know the client a bit. Client gets to know the coach. Like, have you worked with the coach before? What barriers could stand in the way of this engagement? Expectations. Are you open?
Right.
To coaching? What might come up during the engagement? From your life, because in coaching we think about 6 life systems. So the first is personal. And if you think about going clockwise, you go from person to couple. So you're married or you're in a relationship with someone else. And then you move on to the third life system, which is family. And from family, there is friendship, work, and community. Something is going awry in those life systems, it's most likely going to show up in all or some of the other 5 life systems.
That makes a lot of sense. That make a whole lot of sense.
Because I tend to lump everything like gumbo. Right. I never parsed it out.
I'm pretty sure I got a combination platter.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting. So when you were talking about the coaches that you dealt with before, you mentioned that some of them were Christian coaches, right? So is there a Christian aspect to what you do, to how you coach? And if it is, is that something that you're forthcoming about? Like, for people who may not be Christian that you're coaching, is that something that they know about you up front, or is that something that you incorporate, or how does that work for you?
So I've worked with several coaches who happen to be Christian.
Okay.
And thus far, most of my clients who mention anything about their faith, because they can share whatever they choose are Christians.
Mhm.
One client in particular talks a lot about his faith, going to church on a weekly basis, his involvement in the ministry. So there's a lot of, I think, alignment. I was going to
Okay.
say symmetry, but alignment. I think what really resonated most deeply with me was what I shared earlier in the show. I love that coaching centers unconditional acceptance.
Yes.
You know, while it is not a religion, it's not a faith, as a Christian, I immediately saw how important that was for me. So, and I think about the alignment
Mhm.
in my purpose here on earth.
Mhm.
Coaching allows me to help others do so. Think about unconditional acceptance in Christian context.
Right.
Neither condoning nor condemning a person creates space for them to be vulnerable,
Right.
to share a range of emotions. And the coach has to be able to sit with those range of emotions. The coach needs to be able to empathize what people are dealing with in the moment. And the coach also needs some courage, you know,
For
to
sure.
challenge, to turn up the heat, to help the client come to their own self-awareness. So I think one of the things, if you're a good listener, I think you'll find coaching to be a really good fit. And even if you're not a good listener, you will learn how to listen and to direct your attention to the client. And so in coaching, it is always eye contact. We share observations. So Shell, Nikki, Tamara, I might say, can I share an observation with you? I noticed that you lit up when you began to talk about your children or your mother or this project or your vacation. Another question that I would ask in intake session might be, what brings you joy? So it's about, you know, paying attention to the client, noticing what's happening, you know, in their facial expressions, the moments of silence, all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because body language is well, nonverbal cues and communication is more than verbal. You know, in terms of the percentage wise, it's more prevalent than the verbal the words that we say. You know, our body language and how we say what we say is like, you know,
it tells you all
the
business.
backstory.
Yeah, it tells all the business.
Says what's unsaid.
I'm curious. I want to go back to the point of the coaching that you're doing with these Black men in early childhood, because I imagine I'm curious about your approach, because when we were coming over here, I asked about like his experience with like how many people of color were in your group. And I can imagine there's probably not a lot of Black men professional certified coaches. So like it's a two for like, how does that feel and sit with you knowing that you're one of the few small percentages of Black men in this space? And then two, how does that translate when you're now going to be coaching other Black men toward the goal they're seeking?
Yeah.
And thank you, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I've been coached by some phenomenal Black men, Black women, and people across, you know, the gamut in terms of, you know, how they identify. And I do enjoy this particular client. I've not yet began my engagement with the group, but I'm looking to fly down to meet them in person before we start our sessions over Zoom.
Okay.
My preference would be to be in person for all of our clients. But it's an honor. It's a privilege. How does it feel to be among a few Black men in this profession, I'd say
Mhm.
it feels very familiar.
Share more.
It feels very familiar. I was the first Black male director when I made my transition from academia over to philanthropy. And when I completed my tenure at my first private foundation and moved to California for my second private foundation, not only was I the first man on the team, but I was the first male operations director, Black operations director.
Mhm.
And it's such a small world. The very first African American or Black director at that foundation interviewed me to join the AFI board of directors many years ago.
Wow.
And she
For
left.
those that don't know, that's Association for Black Foundation Executives.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And she left that organization, program director, and went on to serve as president, CEO of two foundations,
Mhm.
also a trustee on a board of directors at a foundation in New Orleans.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. So you accept
So
the
it's
challenge.
familiar. So it was, yeah, it was like, okay, I've done this before in terms of being one of the few out here doing what I'm doing, but representing well, obviously.
Yeah. And taking on all that comes with that territory, Nikki, so that when the next Black man shows up, things will be a bit easier.
Mhm.
Many of those boundaries and barriers that I've contended with in my profession and in life, I believe have benefited many of my mentees to a great degree. There's this saying that it's hard to be what you do not see. And so I do believe that, presence in space and presence as defined in coaching is, having the ability to be completely in the moment and flexible enough to handle the unexpected.
That's good.
So being there for the client, being completely in the moment for the client, and also having this ability to change course. There are certain things you can plan for, and many of the other things are unexpected, happen in the moment.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm curious. That sounds like a lot of work. And, and I'm not quite sure that, that's not my call in the ministry. That just seems like a lot, my brother.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how whether it was in your training and the certification process, how do life coaches re-up their own energy? I mean, you're not a therapist, but you are engaging in a lot of aspects of people's lives. So how do you unload, or how do you all stay balanced and sure
That's good.
as you continue to coach people?
Yeah, so life definitely shows up in the context of what we describe. So Hudson's definition for it is leadership and transition coaching. Of course, there's life happening under each of those umbrellas. So many of my colleagues in a small learning group in broader class said, I need to step back and take a break because this has been a lot. And I would say that
I can see that.
it is critically important for the coach to not become a part of the client's story.
Okay, say that slower,
Yeah.
because that's a really good point that I don't want the people to miss.
It is critically important for the coach to not become a part of the client's story.
Oh.
We hold space for it.
Mm-hmm.
It is the client's story. It is the client's work.
Mm-hmm.
We are there to facilitate.
Say
We
that
are there
again.
to facilitate.
Give me an example of what not to do for a coach becoming. How does a coach mistakenly become a part of the client's story?
Mhm. So here's an example. I heard one of my clients say, the youngest of my clients say, I don't remember the last time I was happy.
Mm.
Hearing a young person say that almost pulled me
I know it would took me down.
to the story. And, again, the coach-client relationship is peer-to-peer, colleague to colleague,
That makes a huge
and
difference.
to be pulled into becoming a part of the story could easily lead to parent-child relationship
Ah,
versus equals,
mhm,
coach and client
mhm.
being equals.
Wow. Yeah, I could see that going to ride with me. Yeah, I couldn't be no
So-
coach. Go ahead, Megan. That's it.
Call me later.
Right.
No, if you just need to talk, if it's 12 o'clock at night, don't worry. Just give me a call. I'm gonna answer the phone. I'll be there. Look over your shoulder, honey.
Right.
Woo. So what's the difference then in coaching and mentoring?
Mhm.
Help
Yeah.
me understand what the difference is
I
between
like that
coaching and mentoring. Because
Mhm.
I think with a mentor, you might get pulled into the story.
Mhm. Mhm.
Am I right? And in
Yes.
coaching, you're like, nah, bro, it's on you. You gotta make that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Help me see that. Like, for
Mhm.
especially for you and another young man, like say
Mhm.
another man fresh out of college, getting ready to, he just got 4 job offers and he don't know which one to take.
Mhm.
And so he gets you as a coach. And then you're coaching him and you're asking him all these questions. What do you really want? And all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Then you coach him into doing that. And then he's like, well, can you mentor me? Now you're not my coach. Now you're my
Mhm.
mentor. What does that look like that
Mhm.
transition?
Yeah, I think mentorship, I have several mentees, and in most cases, they just want to ask me a ton of questions. And so there's a lot of curiosity there, and I think you need to be curious to make a good coach. But there's just a lot of curiosity there, a lot of scenarios. How did you handle this? Or has this come up in your career before? If so, how did you handle it? And I think, as a mentor, it is about being vulnerable, being honest. Even the things that I've shared with you all tonight, like I'm not perfect at this,
Right.
because I'm a human being and
Mhm.
I'm a compassionate human being. It isn't easy to hear that another human being is struggling, just to walk away from that or be completely textbook
Mhm.
about it all. It's about being able to relate to what your client is dealing with. That's why coaches must be equipped to handle a range of emotions. We need empathy to do this work well.
Okay.
And we have to remember that we are showing up for the client. We're holding space for the client, holding space for them to be vulnerable, holding space for them to share their emotions, which has been very interesting experience with my Black male clients.
Mm.
Because as men, this doesn't apply to all men, but we share something and you don't respond, or your response, you know, causes us or one to shut down. The
Mhm.
likelihood of us sharing again
Oh yeah.
is slim to none because it
Mhm.
took so much courage to build up to the point of testing
Yeah.
our vulnerability.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Sam, you got some
Yeah,
questions?
I was just about to say.
I know you
Get
do.
it
You
in.
burning over there, ain't you?
No, I'm not burning. I did have a couple of questions. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Marcus, one of the questions that I did have as a coach myself, I've gone through training, haven't done anything with it yet. I figure I'd do it when I retire, right?
Yeah.
But at any rate, I wanted to know, typically individuals, they listen to hear. They don't necessarily listen to hear, they listen to respond, right? How do you keep yourself as a coach from responding too soon? Because sometimes the client, you already know, you're intuitive, you've been listening, you've been with this individual for a while now, coaching them, and you know where they're going. and it's difficult not to respond for them, right? How do you keep yourself from going in that direction? And then my second question is, how do you know that you are ready for a coach? And when you start to look for a coach, what qualities should you look for? Because there are a lot of coaches out there, some very expensive. And when you're looking for an executive coach, you're going to pay some executive money, right? How do you know what to look for when you're looking for a good coach and you don't have executive money?
Yeah. So your
Great
first
questions.
question, yeah, wonderful question. It's great to see you, Tamara. So how do you resist the next question? I think it's important to, or how do you resist knowing where the client is going? It's important to remain curious and to not assume that you know where the client is going. Like during my training, I think, sharpened my listening skills. In fact, during the program, we had to submit recorded coaching sessions. So I submitted 3 recorded coaching sessions and
You didn't pick the best out of 5. You ain't cheat, did you?
I did not. I actually submitted sessions with the clients who I thought challenged me the most.
Okay.
So
Good
the
for you.
clients that were very talkative
Mm-hmm.
That
are,
would be me.
are the ones that I submitted. And I learned some tips along the way. So if a client is, going on, it's like just whisper their name if they're talking. So it's not like an abrupt interruption. But in my performance evaluation, or you might agree early on, if you're going a little longer, if I raise my, would you wrap up your response? Because I do need to ask you some questions to help get to you becoming more,
I do need to
more
facilitate.
aware. So I think remaining curious.
Start playing music.
And, and
So they shut up.
resisting the temptation to think that we know where the client is going. They may switch it up on you. They may bring in a different issue. So at the very beginning of the engagement, the first phase of the engagement is called contracting. And there are 3 questions to make certain that you have contracted so that you know what to focus on and how to guide the client, facilitate the client. The first is, what is the focus? What would you like to focus on today? What makes this focus meaningful now? And what would you like to accomplish by the end of the session? So that's the front end. Then there are steps where you actually begin with, what's the most important thing to know about your current situation? What would you like to share about your inspired future? And you go on. So what's getting in the way of, moving from your current state to your inspired future state? What's working in your favor toward your inspired future state? And you then go on to ask the client, so what's next? Keeping it open-ended. Nick said, I'm going to do this. I want to experiment with that. And toward the end of that session, as you begin to close, you'll ask questions like, what did you learn about yourself today? What are you going to do to hold yourself accountable? And how can I be of help? Or what do you need? What do you need? So that's the answer to your first question. The second question, would you repeat your second question?
How do you know you need a
Sure.
therapist?
Yeah. How do you know when you're ready for a coach, and how do you choose the right coach? Particularly if you are looking for executive coaching. I know that sometimes you're in your career and you hit a brick wall, right? At what point do you say, okay, it's time for me to seek out an executive coach, because either I'm going to stay here or I'm going to move on, but I need someone to help facilitate that decision. And then how do you find the right coach?
The focus of our coaching at Hudson is leadership and transition coaching. Clients often know that they need or would like to work with a coach when they are being faced with a transition. And it could be a personal transition, a transition that includes, their couple situation, whether marriage or a relationship. Maybe there's a transition happening in family, in friendship, in work, and community. Unfortunately, in the workplace, most people are directed to a coach because of performance issues. I won't say that they're always, bona fide, but if there's, intention to actually help an employee improve their performance, then great. And then there's also performing or performance evaluating someone out of the organization for other reasons. What to look for in a coach? I think you look for a coach who has presence, who can be completely in the moment for you and able to handle the unexpected regarding you. You look for a coach who is able to handle a range of emotions. You want a coach that has courage to challenge you a bit along the way. A coach who is empathetic to what you're dealing with, and someone who really centers the three things that I shared at the top of the show: unconditional acceptance, and someone who will not condemn or condone you personally, or the things that you're going. Someone who can sit in a judgment-free zone for you to be you without comparison or apology.
But you don't know that going in. So is there like a website for coaches that you can look at? I mean, seriously. You really don't know that going in. So how do you know where to go to even look for a coach?
Yeah.
I mean, is there a website? Is there an organization that you need to be in contact with? I'm just going to go online and search coaches. How do I know? Do I go on LinkedIn? Where do I start at?
Yeah, you might consider starting with the International Coaching Federation, which is the licensing body for professional certified coaches. They also have chapters. They have state chapters. You could start there. Yes, you can definitely find professional certified coaches on LinkedIn and through referrals, word of mouth. And I think you grill a potential coach. Ask them all the questions like, what are your biases? If they say, I really don't have any, say maybe move on. Interview the next coach. We all have biases. So you want someone who can be transparent with you about what they're bringing to the table, so that you feel comfortable working with this coach, and you also feel like you can trust this coach with your personal information. Like, there's a very strong code of ethics, so confidentiality is very, very important to the profession. It is paramount to being a great coach. So
Absolutely.
the things that I've shared, very general, don't name my clients in any way, their organizations, share things that are, not easily identifiable.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that makes.
Did that answer your questions, Tamara?
Yeah, because I was just thinking, like, what would it be like to actually coach somebody and see them like excel to the level that they want to, and you have to quietly watch them excel. You know what I'm saying? How does that, like, what would that feel like? You know what I'm saying? Like, you coach this person, but you can't
now
say anything.
they're running for presidency of the United States.
Well, not today.
You're like,
You don't listen to nobody. But if you've coached someone to the level of success that they're experiencing, and like what kind of fulfillment that would be, like I just think that would be dope. Like, you don't have to say anything. It's like you can just sit back, even if you're watching them on TV.
Yeah.
And the opposite, yeah, and the opposite, like she's saying, and the opposite, like you did all you could do. I tried, I prayed and I cried and I cried and I prayed. But and I asked all the questions in the world, but they were just not coachable. Like, how do you know? That's a good one. How do you know when to let this person go?
Cut bait.
Coachability is important.
Yeah.
So that is the purpose of the intake process. Is this person coachable? And if maybe the answer is not yet, not in this moment, but yes, I believe everyone is coachable. And it does take some work sometimes when the coach turns up the heat or challenges. Say the client is someone who is not accustomed to being questioned, but is accustomed to
I can see that
being a know-it-all. And the role of the
Narcissistic.
coach is to challenge that. It's to challenge what they are seeing, and you don't say you are this or you are that. May I share an observation? I noticed that you're not considering your role in the situation. What is your role in the situation? That is always the other person. But what is your role in the situation?
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness is
It's
the
mirror.
goal of coaching. Increasing self-awareness is so important. And I think the more aware you become, the more likely you are to identify your role in the situation before anyone brings it to your attention. And coaching is all about doing our inner work. Sometimes we focus on our doing selves and we place so much of our identity on the things that we do.
Absolutely.
And we underemphasize the role of focusing on our being selves. Who are you? What do you value? What constitutes your belief systems? How do you treat yourself? How do you see yourself? How do you see and treat other people? So that really gets to the heart of who we are, more so than what we do.
Well, yeah, I could see that because, what struck me when you were talking was like the reason why I think we rely so heavily on the doing self is because that is just how our system was set up. Like we're fundamentally financially paid to do a thing. We're not being financially paid to be a better person. You could be the worst person in the world.
Yeah.
But you could still keep your job and get paid, right? So to have that mindset flipped, I can imagine that is, I don't know what that's like when you're not that self-aware. And to cut bait, in the cutting the bait, do you feel guilty that you have to be like, I can't. I
need to refer you to somebody else.
Right. This is out of my ministry and calling. Like, how do you cut bait without you blaming yourself for maybe that
having to cut them?
Yeah, have to cut. Have to just be like, I just have to discontinue this journey.
I haven't experienced it yet, but in our coaching program, we were paired with our colleagues, and I'd say that there was a colleague in particular who was the client, was the coach, who I would have referred to someone else who was credentialed and better able to handle one of her a diagnosis. For me, I thought it was on the brink of therapy. It's a very thin line between coaching and therapy. I'm not a therapist, a professional certified coach, so I know, where I belong.
I know my lane. I'm gonna stay in it.
I know my lane. And I am going to stay in my lane.
We had another question that says, Teresa wants to know, what are the educational requirements to be a life coach?
Yeah, so professional certified coach, it depends. It depends on your program. My program was 9 months long. I have a friend who went through an even longer program, 13 months. So I'd say my program was incredibly rigorous, quite demanding, centers adult learning because most of your clients are adults. And they made very clear this program is for adults. It's not really for younger professionals who are at novice level, need a little more experience before you consider becoming a professional certified coach. So it varies. They can be quite expensive to your earlier point, Tamara.
Yeah, you trying to recoup your costs.
Yeah.
Baby, I'm not paying 50 grand to be a coach.
It is an investment. Yeah, I'd be interested in knowing what's motivating you or what's inspiring Teresa's interest in becoming a coach. I believe it is a wonderful profession. And I think I appreciate it more because I've, again, had the opportunity to work with 6 amazing coaches, leadership coaches, transition coaches. I mentioned that coaches don't tell you what to do, but I was in a really awkward situation at a former employer. And 2 of my coaches told me, like, after the coaching sessions were over, leave this place. It's not good for you, not good for your well-being, which could, move away from coaching. And if oh wow, we're almost at time.
Marcus, I have a question. You're also a minister.
Yes, ma'am.
How has your coaching helped in your ministry? Having gone through this program, how has it helped you in ministry when you are praying for or counseling or just talking to some of the other brethren or some of the individuals at church? How has this helped to strengthen your approach to ministry?
I think ministry strengthened my approach to coaching.
Okay.
Because, so much of my time was behind the scenes in the prayer room, and you're talking one-on-one with individuals and you have to give them your undivided attention. So you're listening, like really, really listening, and holding on to every word so you can get to the bottom of, the thing or things, the issues that brought them to the prayer room. So clearly this person didn't have enough time for a prayer at the altar. They had some deeper issues and concerns that needed to be talked through, prayed through in a more private setting. So I would double down on saying that ministry definitely helped me in coaching. Like really full circle moment I'm going to mention is, can't do it justice in the remaining time, but 5 years ago, I was hospitalized at the height of COVID in Michigan for more than 50 consecutive days. What led to that was 2 chronic illnesses: polycystic kidney disease, my kidneys weighed nearly 17 pounds, and congestive heart failure. Long story short, on November 21st of 2020, I received a heart transplant followed by a kidney transplant, and 3 months later, my native kidneys were removed. And so that experience alongside ministry definitely influenced my journey to coaching. And so
glory to God, right?
I see them all working together.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
We were there right with you when you were going through all of this. So we're just excited. I mean, 5 years since your heart and kidneys, that's amazing. So
Yeah, I thought about
congratulations.
there.
Yeah. Thank you.
I call him my favorite Build-A-Bear.
Yeah.
Well, in the
To God be the glory.
all the time. So where can someone reach you? Do you have a
Yeah.
email? Can you share it with our listeners before we sign off?
You can reach me at, for now, it's email. It's marcus.mcgrew@gmail.com.
Well, there you have it. So if you need a professional, certified coach, Marcus McGrew, he's available.
Yes.
And you heard all the wonderful things. Tamara, Nikki.
I know, right? This happened so fast.
It did. It
This
did.
hour go by so fast. Yeah, it does. And so you went through also, can you share where you went to get your training? You said through Hudson something.
Hudson Institute of Coaching in Santa Barbara, California.
Oh my. He went all the way to Santa Barbara. Well,
I was living and working in California.
He lived in California.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. So yeah, Sister Teresa, I know you wanted to know what kind of classes he took, but maybe you can reach out to Hudson School and just kind of look at their curriculum. I'm sure they have a curriculum online that you can check out and see what they have available and then compare it to
reach
something
out to
here.
Marcus.
Or reach out to me.
Or reach out to Marcus directly.
Marcus.mcgrew@gmail.com. marcus.mcgrew@gmail.com.
Yes, she
There
got
you
it.
have it. She got it.
Yes. Thank
Well,
you so much. This was
thank you,
very
Marcus.
enlightening. Yes.
Honor.
Yes, it's been
This is
very
great.
enlightening. Thank you so much. And congratulations and praise God for the healing.
Woo!
Yeah.
You better believe Jesus. You better believe Jesus.
Joining us tonight. We are grateful that you were here, and we hope that something was said that inspired you. And we want you to join us again next month on the third Tuesday at 8 p.m. on WVTC Detroit, where we are winning victory through Christ. See ya.
Deuces.
Deuces. Well, that's a wrap on another episode of My Sister, Your Sister. Now, don't keep this to yourself. Tell a sister or a brother and join us next month on the third Tuesday
At 8 p.m. Eastern.
on WVTC Detroit. Stay in touch with us via email at sistersllc@gmail.com and partner with us via Cash App at $MSYSCOMM. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out.
Let me at thy throne and see, find a sweet relief.
Okay.
You ain't changing your mind now, have you?
We're about to be one big happy family.
I'm just hoping I can trust you to return my love.
I mean, as much as I know how to love.
Did you sleep with him?
No! This is toxic.
Don't become the thing that hurt you.
And what is that?
Bitterness.
I really needed you when Daddy died.
Girl, look, there you go with what you need. This not about you. Didn't you find God for that? I'm not here to meet your needs.
I understand that you love her. I get it. But like this, right here, this is toxic. Toxic? Man, who's you talking to like that?
And we're here at the Davidson High School for the first game of the season.
Look, I'm sorry, sir, but we were all running for our lives.
Hope you enjoy being used, man.
Man, what? No, you better find someone else to play with, bro.
Oh, come on. You both know you ain't about to hit nothing but a high note. You better sit down.
My Bible tells me that the wages of sin is death.
That's wages, honey, not wedges.
I know what it says, Miss Sunday School teacher.
I see that one is coming to the altar.
Now is the time.
Singing and praying with my mind.
Cut.
How you gonna cut singing and praying?
Go to your Apple or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
You're listening to WVTC Gospel Radio Detroit, and we're flowing in the Spirit.